Want to emphasize that this commentary is for entertainment purposes only. Opinions expressed are just that, opinions. And house cleaning, please give Examining Kubrick a chance. Also, please consider supporting the channel. So I will get to the punchline very quickly. Rabbit is currently a kind of true crime commentator who is allied with SPTV. But if you look at her content just a few years back, that's not really who she was. And she has this disturbing history of, quote, attacking black YouTubers. Now, I'm not trying to be ultra woke. If people want to criticize black YouTubers, they can do that. But this is where it gets very disturbing very quickly. One of those YouTubers was Charisma, who joined a very radical black Hebrew cult and then got out. Now, currently, Rabbit is posing as if she helps cult survivors like Aaron Smith Levin and Miriam Francis and others, but in her own past, she did not do that. It gets even more disturbing because the cult she was a part of, again, this is an allegation, murdered a very young girl, and Charisma helped out with that case. She actually contributed to a BBC documentary. And I looked at that documentary, and yes, she's helping out. She's there. Rabbit does not bring up any of this. She's not tried to help at all with this case. She is just lying and being hypocritical. She's not interested in helping cult survivors. She's not really interested in cults at all. She just jumped on a bandwagon and is pretending to care about victims. Or more precisely, she cares only about these victims. But she doesn't care about these victims overall. So she's just being a fraud. Then we get to another disturbing secret that she's kept from her audience, that her own husband, again, these are allegations. This is true that he does have a criminal record, but what we make of it, we want to be careful. So apparently he went to jail. And again, just because you go to jail, be totally innocent. Could be he made a plea bargain. But in any case, he went to jail for, we'll just say, physical crimes. And of course, very recently, she's been very self-righteous attacking Brian Kent and alluding to Mike Rinder being guilty of very violent crimes, even though her own husband is guilty of that. And with Brian Kent, she's already jumping to, he's guilty, he's definitely a predator, we need to go after him, we need to destroy him. Are we going to apply this standard to your own family? What about your husband? Should we scrutinize you and your family? This criminal record is real. And that brings us to the third hypocrisy, namely that when people question her, she starts yelling doxing and doxing and doxing. But Charisma and other black YouTubers have shown over and over again, she doxes people and tries to use their public records, whether criminal record or even private information, against them. Guilty of three major hypocrisies. And again, she does have a tendency to keep going after black women. Now, does that make her a racist? Well, we do see a disturbing pattern and a long set of double standards that if you're the right person, she helps you out. But if you're the wrong person of the wrong skin color, she doesn't care, or she attacks you and puts out these false charges. And when she's questioned, she retreats and starts yelling at how she's being targeted for harassment, so on and so forth. Well, no, if you're offering yourself up as a public critic, you have to accept some criticism. But she just doesn't. And she's been actively blocking people, questioning her double standard and, quote, attacking Aaron's victims, attacking Charisma, and attacking those cult survivors. But in her own case, there are no questions allowed. The only news that's going to be filtered through is a very positive image of Rabbit. And even that is a bit of a lie because the, quote, online identity she's throwing out, that's not true either. Like people call her Alex. That's not her name. It just feels that overall she is just a fraud and posing as helping the victims, but she really doesn't care about this stuff.